All right, so today we're gonna do a yoga flow that's going to release your entire body. So if you've been sitting all day, standing all day, or you just feel like you need to get some motion in, this is gonna be the perfect flow for you. It's not too fast, not too crazy. We're gonna start standing up with our feet about hip distance apart. We're just gonna shake it all off. So relax the shoulders, relax the head, maybe bring it side to side, trying to drop your ears down to each shoulder. While you're doing this, see if you can focus on your breath. Notice how fast it's going. Notice if it's just into the chest. Maybe start to move your neck in circles here. Over time, while you're just exploring this range of motion in your neck and your head, start to try to slow your breath down. Bring it even deeper into the body, all the way past the chest into the belly. We'll take 1 to 2 more big breaths here, big neck circles. After that next breath of yours, you're gonna reach your hands up to your shoulders and start to squeeze the elbows together. Big inhale, you're gonna reach them up and into the air, continue to squeeze. And then as you exhale, reach them back behind you and down. Inhale, up and away. Exhale, back and down. Continue to do this a few more times. This is really good for you if you sit a lot or you're just in general trying to focus on the posture. This is going to help recover the shoulders that tend to go forward. So we'll take 2 to 3 more big breaths, warming up the shoulders now. From here, we're just gonna relax everything. So go ahead and reach the arms up and into the air. You can interlace your fingers, maybe reach side to side, opening up the side of the body. Inhaling up, exhaling down. We'll go one more time to each side. From here, we're gonna go into what's called a ragdoll pose. You're just gonna start to fold forward, put a nice bend into the knees, grab the opposite elbow and let everything hang down. Your neck and your head should all be relaxed. Let the back just kind of relax as well. The more you bend the knees, the less it's gonna take the pressure out from behind the legs. If you feel like you want to go a little deeper, just start to shift your weight out of the heels and more into the toes, trying to stack those hips over the ankles. Once you feel steady, you can start to rock your torso side to side for the full ragdoll pose. Relax the neck again, just shaking it out, kind of letting it rock with gravity. We'll take 2 to 3 more big breaths. Here, if you feel like one angle really feels good on your body, feel free to stay there an extra breath or 2. One more big breath in, trying to fill up the belly, and a big exhale out. Then what we're gonna do is bring our hands to our shins and come up for a half forward fold. Really trying to reach the head away from us, the hips backwards for a half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Next exhale, you're just gonna come into a Uttanasana or full forward fold, letting the top of the head reach down to the mat. Inhale again, reach up halfway. Here you want to try to avoid having a round in the back. So if you feel like it's more hunched over like this, really try to stick the butt out like you're trying to draw the tailbone behind you. Even if your hands need to come up a little bit higher, that's fine. Next exhale, we're going back down into a forward fold. Really try to let your spine release here. Notice what areas kind of tense up and just try to let them go, shake them out a bit. One more time, we're gonna come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And again, exhale, folding forward. You can drop your hands to the mat, bending your knees as much as you need to do that, and just take a few steps back into a plank. Just for the purpose of this flow being easy and release, we're gonna do modified chaturanga. If you feel like making it more active to wear yourself out, feel free to keep your knees up. As you exhale, you're just gonna bend your elbows in towards your body and lower down. Next inhale, we're coming up into a Sphinx pose first. Really focusing on spreading the chest open, reaching the elbows together. So even if we have to turn our fingers slightly away from us or wider from our body, let's do that. As you exhale, you're just gonna lower down. Big inhale back to your Sphinx pose. Big exhale back down. And let's do that one more time, just coming to our Sphinx. If we feel like we want to go further, you can press into those hands and start to come up to your cobra. What you want to avoid here is collapsing into the low back. So start to draw the belly button in, forcing the bend into the belly and the chest. So now you feel the front of the body opening rather than back of the body collapsing. If this is too much on your low back, keep your elbows bent or stay down at your Sphinx. As you exhale, we're lowering all the way down. Next inhale, pressing up to wherever we feel comfortable, whether we're here or all the way up. Exhaling all the way down. We're gonna do that one more time. Big breath in, wherever you feel comfortable. Big exhale, lowering down. Our next inhale, we're gonna press into our hands and our knees and just reach our way back into a child's pose. Allowing your hips to rest comfortably on your heels. You can bring your knees wider apart if that makes that more comfortable for you. And then just start to let your forehead rest down. We're gonna take a few big breaths here. The purpose of this is just so you can kind of slow it down, regather yourself, and refocus on what the purpose of this is to release. So if you're pushing yourself too hard, you're taking it too intensely, let it go. Breathe it out, cool yourself down, and from here going forward, continue to keep that at ease. We're gonna take 2 more big breaths here in our child's pose. And then on our next inhale, you're gonna press into those hands and feet and come up into the first down dog of the flow. So keep your knees really bent, pedal them out. Reach the heels down one at a time. If you want to add a little bit of a twist, add a twist. See what feels good for your body. Really try not to collapse into the shoulders here, so you're pressing your hands into the ground to reach yourself up. Your tailbone's drawing its way into the air, and your knees are slightly bent to allow a straight spine. We'll take 2 more big breaths, grounding into the mat. And then all we're gonna do is look to the front, walk our feet back to the hands, come back and inhale into our Ardha Uttanasana halfway up. As you exhale, you're folding into a forward fold, full Uttanasana. Next inhale, we're gonna go all the way up to standing very, very slowly, hands into the air. And with an exhale, bend the elbows out to the side and open your chest slightly. Next inhale, reach your hands forward, arching your spine backwards. Inhale, open the chest. One more time, reach them away. Inhale, open the chest. Next time you reach your hands away, you're also gonna come down into a forward fold. Here, what we're gonna do is come into a pigeon. So the easiest way to get into that is to start to drop down onto your right knee, bringing your left leg behind you. You don't have to have a 90-degree angle into the knee. It's more important to have your hips into a nice and comfortable alignment. So turning the back foot over so that you're on the top of it, you're gonna start to slide your knee backwards until you feel a nice opening. Maybe it's in the front of this hip, maybe it's in the side of your front hip. Once you feel that, you're just gonna breathe into it. If you feel tempted to kind of rock over onto your side, you can grab your blanket or your towel, just wedge it underneath your hip to prop you up there so you're not collapsing. When you're here, depending on how you feel it, you might wanna play around. Maybe you wanna rock side to side for a few breaths. Maybe you just wanna forward fold, really opening up those hips a little bit more. See what feels good for you. For some of us, this might be really intense. For others, we already know it feels really good. So continue to now just to use that breath as a guide, as an additional tool. As you inhale, try to make it even deeper. Maybe find the areas of the body that are really tense. As you exhale, try to relax them all, let them go. We're going to take a few more big breaths here. Really trying to let your body melt down into the mat, relax itself. If you feel like that front leg is starting to fall asleep, that means you're rocking into it a little bit too much, so prop it up with a blanket or just start to lean your weight into the back leg. Last big breath here. And now for some of us getting out of this, the easiest way might just be to roll onto our sides and find our way back into the flow. For others, we can press our hands into the mat, start to lift up the back leg and slide that right leg back right into our down dog for the next side. We'll take a few big breaths, just pedaling it around. Again, this is the purpose of this flow, is to feel good, not to get some perfect alignment. So take 2 more big breaths. And then we're just gonna walk our way back to the front of the mat. Release it all with a big exhale in Uttanasana. Inhale up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Again, release the spine, fold forward. And very slowly roll up to standing. 3 times, we're gonna inhale the arms up. Exhale them back, open the chest. Inhale them forward. Exhale them back. Inhale forward. Good, and exhale back. This time as we inhale forward, we're gonna come into a fold. Taking a few big breaths here. Notice if it's sped up at all, if you can make it slower, more into that belly. And then from here, we're gonna move into a pigeon on the other side. So we'll start to bring our right leg behind us, dropping the left knee down and starting to adjust ourselves. So this is gonna give you a good angle of the opposite leg now. So if you're starting to fall off to the side, grab that blanket or pillow, whatever you have next to you. You can wedge under there, even a sweatshirt. Just stick it under the hips to prop you up, make it a little bit more supported so you can really allow your body to release. We're gonna take a few more breaths, just like the other one. So I'll give you some time to explore it. Maybe you're staying up, rocking side to side, opening the chest, or maybe you're starting to fold forward. For most of us, this knee isn't gonna be at a 90. Over time, if you feel like you're not feeling that stretch that you would like to feel here or the release you'd like to feel, your foot could start to move more towards the front, eventually making that 90-degree angle, and then you're folding over that. But don't force it. If it causes more strain in your body, then release. That's not the purpose of this. So find that breath and start to use it to release the body as a tool. We're just gonna be here a little bit longer. If this one feels like it's even tighter than the other one, a little bit more limited, take this as the opportunity to balance it out, to give it some extra love. If you felt like it was the other one, maybe pause the video after this leg and go back to the other one so you can actively really balance them out. We'll take maybe 2 to 3 more big breaths, depending on how fast or slow that is for you today. And then from here again, pressing into the hands or just plopping ourselves down and rolling around to the position. We're gonna lift our way up and slide into our last down dog. All we're gonna do from here is start to drop down to our knees for a tabletop. If this hurts your knees, grab that blanket or cushion again and slide it underneath. In our tabletop, we wanna have our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath the hips. If we're feeling a little wobbly, they could come wider apart. We're gonna turn our fingers again slightly out to the side so we can really focus on opening that chest. And as we inhale, we're gonna let our belly and our chest drop down, our tailbone and our head reach towards the ceiling. As you exhale, you're gonna reach the spine up, tucking in your butt and tucking in your chin for cat pose. Inhaling up, head and tailbone reach to the sky, chest drops down to the ground. Exhaling, opposite direction. Belly pulls in, back of the spine reaches up to the sky. And then now we're gonna do this a few more times, so feel free to move with your own breath. Inhaling up and down. If you feel like you want to add other ranges of motion in, maybe you feel like reaching out to the side here, go ahead and do that. We're just going to take 3 more big breaths. Moving through our cat-cows, really releasing that spine. And then from here, we'll sit back into our child's pose. We'll take a few big breaths. Good, so still focusing on the breath. We'll take a few more. And then we're going to start to reverse and open that spine again. Oftentimes we're always hunched forward. So opening up the front body is really vital for that spinal health. From here, start to press into your hands. Come back up to your tabletop. Move through your cat-cow 1 or 2 more times. And then all we're gonna do is start to lower ourselves down onto our bellies. We're gonna start to move through a locust pose to continue to open up the chest and the front body. There's a few ways you can do it. If your shoulders are very tight and reaching behind you is uncomfortable, you can reach them out to the side, you can reach them in front of you, or you can opt to just keep your hands on the mat. If you don't feel like your shoulders are gonna limit you, we're gonna start to reach our hands behind us, either just keeping them apart or reaching for the fingers. As you inhale, you're going to lift your chest up, rolling those shoulders back like you're trying to reach those hands together, and they're reaching away from you. As you exhale, you're just gonna lower down. Inhaling up, and exhaling down. If you feel like holding it up here at an inhale is not too challenging for you, it's okay for your back, feel free to stay here and hold it instead of continuing to move up and down. That's still gonna really work on toning the spine, toning the abdomen, as well as all the inner organs within them. So again, you're either holding it here for your last 3 breaths or exhaling down and inhaling up. Last one. And then release your arms, shake them out, drop them down onto the mat, and make your way into a child's pose. We're just gonna take 3 big breaths here. Last one. And then let's go ahead and slide our way back forward and onto our bellies. So this time, you're going to bring your hands behind your head with the fingers interlaced, elbows out to the side. As you inhale, you're going to try to lift your forehead off the mat. For some of us, we might just be struggling to get a little bit off, and that's perfectly fine. The more you work at it, the more you'll find ease. So as you inhale, lift that head up. As you exhale, lower down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Few more with your own breath. Moving at whatever speed you feel comfortable. Hopefully over time, trying to go slower and slower. Last one or two. And then place one hand on top of the other on your mat and let your forehead rest on top of them for reverse shavasana or reverse corpse pose. Take a few breaths, slowing them down, catching them again. Really try to feel the back of the body expand here. With every inhale, you're trying to reach the top of the back, the mid-back, the rib cage, expanding it as much as you can towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, you're feeling it collapse back down. Inhale, try to get as much air as you can in. Fill the rib cage up. Big exhale, lower it down. 1 to 2 more of those, trying to make space in the spine. You might feel different parts of the back opening up. Good. Next inhale, just press into those hands. All we're going to do here is roll over onto our backs. So if your back tends to bother you when you're flat, you can grab your blanket, your towel, pillow, whatever it is, and roll it up so that you're either supporting your low back if that bothers you here. Maybe you can lie comfortably on your back like this, or you can also fold it up so it's coming underneath your knees. If that's what you're going to want for your shavasana, I recommend getting it now before waiting till the very end, because we're not going to be moving from our backs from here. So first, before we move into that shavasana, we're going to pull our knees into the chest and just rock side to side. Find that breath again. Try to make it slower, deeper, more powerful. And what we're going to do is bring both hands around the right leg. As we exhale, we're going to point the toes on our left foot and start to reach it away from us down the mat. Really reach your right knee in towards you. You might feel the thighs, the groin opening. As you inhale, you're going to lift your head up, imagining like you're trying to touch your nose towards your knee. And as you exhale, slowly lower back down. Again, inhale up. And exhale down. And one more, inhale up. And next exhale, lowering down. We're going to keep the knee in our left hand, but let our right arm come out to the side to keep us grounded. As you exhale, you're going to let your knee come up and over the body until you feel a nice opening in maybe this thigh or the back, depending on what is more limited for you. You can have your foot resting on the knee or let it come down to the mat. We're just going to take 3 big breaths to go further, or just to get that full effect of the twist in the spine. We're going to turn our head and look out over our right fingertips. Now from the top of our head to the bottom of our tailbone is in a complete twist, wringing out any yuckiness in the body. Take 2 more big breaths. Again, trying to get them slower, deeper in time. Always tuning in with that. And then with our next inhale, we'll pull both knees into the chest slowly. Rock them side to side. And we're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite leg. So now both arms are coming over to our left knee. Our right leg is straightening out with the toes pointing away from us. And with our next inhale, we're lifting our head up, trying to touch the nose to the knee. 2 more big breaths. Next exhale, lower down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, back up. Exhale, back down. Next, we're going to add in the twist. So your right arm is coming to the outside of your thigh, left arm out to the side, and head is facing towards those fingers. As you exhale, let your knee come up and over the body. Your foot could be in the air, on the leg again, or down on the mat, whatever feels comfortable for you. We're going to sit here for about 5 to 6 breaths. So really try to use them to release that body, release that tension, whether it's in the mind or the body. Just let it go. One or 2 more big breaths. And then with your next inhale, pull those knees back in, hug them tight. Bringing one knee into each hand, you're going to start to move them in circles out to the right, away from you as much as you can with control, to the left and in. Feeling it circle around the sacrum, around that bone above your tailbone. Maybe switching the directions. Next, we're going to move into happy baby. If it's comfortable for you, maybe you just have your knees pulled out to the side wide if that's where you're at. Eventually, you can start to make your hands down towards the ankles, seeing if you can lift the feet up. Maybe you can come to the outsides of the feet or grab your big toes. From here, you can be reaching your knees down, seeing what feels comfortable. If it's in your practice, maybe you can start to straighten out one leg at a time. Even if it's a little bit away from you, just to wiggle it around, do that. And then you're switching sides. Two more big breaths. You can rock. You can reach your knees down. See what felt the best for you and continue to do that for another 1 or 2. We're almost done. For the final one before our Shavasana, we're pulling our feet together. First, we're going to pull them into the body, get a nice opening. And then we're going to exhale, let them fall down together with the knees coming out to the side. Here's another opportunity to prop yourself if you want to take out some tension. Slide a pillow underneath each of your legs. I have an imaginary one under this one, so that your knees can't fall more than is comfortable for you. And then we're just going to sit here for a few big breaths, allowing the hips, the belly, the spine, everything to release from our practice today. You're going to use this as an opportunity to start to slow your breath in preparation for your Shavasana at the end. So with your inhale, really open the belly, open the chest. Get as much air as you can in. And with your exhale, let it all go. Do a few more of those big inhales, big exhales. Maybe you'll notice over time how it gets even deeper, slower, smoother, more powerful. Sit in that. Hold on to those and take a few more. Trying to get even deeper, even smoother, even slower. If thoughts come to your mind, just welcome them, but don't focus on them. Don't attach yourself to them. Let it come. Focus on your breath again and let the thought drift away. Wherever your attention goes, just bring it back to the breath. One or two more big breaths. Then we'll find our Shavasana. Good. Slowly just let those knees come together. If you want to help them with your hands, go ahead and do that. If you're going to be propping anything, go ahead and start to slide them under your back, under your knees. If there's something else you know is more comfortable for you, maybe you want to sit up on a pillow, go ahead and do that. Wherever you are, just find a comfortable position as much as you can on the back. And start to tune in with your breath again. Notice if it sped up just from that little switch over. If you need more time, don't frantically hurry. Just take your time. You can meet us where you are. We're all just finding the breath. Big inhale. Once we have it all in, we're going to see if we can sip in a little bit more. And exhale it out. Repeating that over and over. While we're here, start to bring your awareness to the spot between the eyebrows. Take a big breath in. Notice if any thoughts, areas of tension came to mind. Go back to the breath, exhale. Next, we'll bring our attention down to the throat. Big breath in and out. And down to the chest, the heart center. Feeling all your breath enter and leave. Eventually down to the belly button. Trying to keep your focus in these different parts of the body. Training the mind to stay where you'd like it. Maybe the hips are your next focus. Eventually, trying to move down to the knees. If you feel like it's difficult to focus on both at once, for now, alternate between the two. See if you could tune in with the right, the left. Notice if one maybe is a little bit more difficult. Then move down to your feet, feeling the soles in your awareness. Eventually moving back up the body, focusing on the knees, the hips, the belly, the chest, throat. And all the way up to that spot between the eyebrows. With your next inhale, try to get in as much as you possibly can. Notice what's in your awareness now. Is it your breath? Is it some tension in the body? Stressful thought? With a big exhale, as much as you can, let it go. Feel your body get heavy and melt into the ground. Again, big breath in. Tune in, see what needs to release. And with a big exhale, release it. I'll do one more. Big breath in. Big breath out. I'm going to give you the opportunity to lie here now in silence for about a minute or so. So while you're doing this, really try to keep your focus on the breath. The point of the Shavasana is to let all the benefits of all the poses, practices, breathing that you did soak into the body, stay there for longer. So the Shavasana is the most important part. Take about 30 more seconds now. Noticing where your thoughts go and going back to the breath. Very slowly start to wiggle your toes and your fingers around. Waking up the body again. If you feel like you want to lay here longer, maybe you did this before bed, turn off the video now. Ignore me. Otherwise, we're all going to start to wiggle our bodies around and get up. Maybe start to rock your knees side to side as you bend them in. Maybe pull them into the chest and rock side to side there. If you're struggling with digestion, I recommend rolling to your left side. Otherwise, you can roll to your right. We'll take a big breath in. Using your hands as much as you can, press down into the mat so you can come up to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed for now. You're not going to have to really see anything. We're going to sit up nice and tall and just start to rock the head side to side, exactly like how we started. Notice how much more movement you feel in the body. Move the neck in circles now. Notice how much slower, fuller your breath is without you even trying. We'll finish it off with some seated cat-cows, inhaling as you open the chest, reaching it up to the sky, chin up but not collapsed in the back. Exhale as you tuck it all in, dropping your head and your chin down. Big breath in, reach it up. Big exhale, drop it down. One more time. And exhale, let it go. I hope this made you feel a lot better, release any tension you had, whether it was in the body or in the mind. And if this was the start of your day, I hope you have an awesome day. This is the end of it. Have a great night. Namaste.